Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, president and founder of Agile Day, and it's time for today's Agile, Not So Agile episode of the Daily Stand Up. So, without any further review, let's get started. It's Friday. It's another week gone by. Man, time flies when you're having fun. Today, I'm going to dig deep for this episode. If you know me personally, you know that I always say humility is not one of my strong suits. And anyone around will tell you that. They tell you that I'm not boisterous about what I do, I really feel like I'm good at what I do. And with that, sometimes I lack humility. So I decided to do a little bit of an introspective today and talk a little bit about 10 things that I can learn and you can learn from being humble, from humility. And I think that my goal here was to create a list so that I could better myself. And in humility, I'm going to share this list with you so that hopefully it can help you make better choices too. So here we go. Kicking off the list, failure is okay as long as you allow it to be a platform for success. I think that too many times we hear, oh, failure is an option, or fail early, fail often, or all this good stuff. And many times when we fail, we don't leverage that as an opportunity to learn or an opportunity for growth. We just fail for the sake of failing and move on. And I feel like if it's not turned into a lever that you can pull to help you be successful, then failure is wasted. So I guess what I'm trying to say is better recognize when you fail or how you fail, and it can make you a better leader, a better parent, a better person. It can just make you someone that everybody wants to be around. And I think it's important for you to understand failure that way and for you to leverage it that way. Next, people will remember interactions with you. So it sounds so crazy, but I had a student who was in my very first certified Scrum Master class that I ran into. And this person said, I remember how you made me feel. You made me feel like I was the only person in a room. And it was so shocking to me that this person, may not have remembered my name or may not have remembered anything else about me, but they remembered how I helped them have an experience that elicited a feeling. Those of you who know me also believe, or also know that I believe that I'm a firm believer that no one can make you feel a certain way. However, a person and the way they treat you can elicit a certain response. So, with that being said, it humbles me to know that I can help make people feel better about themselves and better about what they do. And that's part of my job of being humble so that I can be a great leader. How about this? Part of humility is understanding that there's always something else to learn. There's always a new learning avenue. For me, with certain topics, I found that really hard to believe because, well, I know a lot about those topics. But even with my knowledge, anytime someone asks me to rate myself on a scale of 0 to 10, I'm always saying 8. And when people look at me and say 8, I'm like, yeah, well, there's always something else to learn. There's something I don't know. There's something I haven't learned yet. The second you cap it off at 10, well, then your learning experience goes away. So I think it's important for us to act with humility, even if it's something that we know very well. Coming at number 4 on my top 10 list, people are always going to be there to help you if you let them. Wow, I went there, right? I think that sometimes we have people who are willing to help, but we don't allow them to. We close the gates, we close the door, we just say, no way, no how. And I think that sometimes we really lose out because we aren't open to let people help us. Now, the truth is, sometimes the best help someone can give us is supporting us through a decision instead of doing it for us. But I think it's important that we recognize that people are there to help and that we allow them the opportunity. Because if we don't allow them the opportunity to help, then they're losing out on an opportunity to share their gifts and talents with you. And that's like it's being greedy. It's taking away from their ability to serve. So yeah, so that's a weird one, but it's interesting because it's inception, right? By you allowing them to help, they are getting the benefit of helping you. There, I said it. Uh, number 5, there will always be someone out there who's doing better than you. This took me a lot of time to really sink in. From a financial perspective, yeah, I get it. That's easy. There's always going to be someone better than me. Elon Musk, as long as Elon Musk is alive, there's always going to be someone better than me. I'm nowhere near that, by the way, just throwing it out there. But I think that what we need to understand is sometimes even people who have nothing are doing better than we are, right? It's just we need to understand that no matter what's happening in our lives, that there's going to be someone who is doing way better than we are spiritually or doing better than we are physically. And that's okay. We just have to look at it and smile and have humility. It's not self-deprecation. Humility is when we have an open mind and we're appreciative that people are doing better than we are, and we can live with and turn that into experience that gives us more personal and professional growth, right? How about this one, number 6? It's okay to ask someone for help. Now, this is interesting because for the longest time, I never believed that this was an issue, right? But I wrote it down and I said, it is true. Because I can't tell you how many times I've said, oh, I'll just do it myself. It'll be faster, it'll be easier. And then I spend so much time doing it that I miss something else that was critical for me to do. The truth is, it really is okay to ask for help, and I encourage you to do it, right? We need to get on board with, even though we may be an expert, it's okay to ask someone else to help you tie the loose ends together, right? How about number 7? Take time to listen to other experts. Ooh, this is a hard one, right? Especially with me being a coach. I think that I ask people all the time to take time to listen to me so that I can share tools and tips and tricks to help them be successful. But in turn, am I letting others or allowing others to share their experience with me? As a certified Scrum trainer, we have a board that we can go to and we can learn from other trainers. And there are many people who actively participate who are live and well on that board. And I find, guilty as charged, that I'm not as active as I could be. But I think that most of that is because I'm listening to what everyone else has to say. So I think that this is one that I'm pretty good at, actually. Instead of being frustrated, it's important for us to open our ears and open our hearts to other people who know as much or more than we do, and to allow their opinions and their voices to be heard. How about number 8? Your profit or financial situation does not determine your worth or value. Wow, that's a big one, right? Just because you're the richest person on the planet doesn't mean that you're the happiest person on the planet. There. So it's so interesting to me because I know everyone tries to get to that point where they're crossing the finish line or they're doing what they need to do. Part of this is understanding that how I feel as a leader and how I feel as a person, and can I go to bed at night and put my head on a pillow and rest well? Those things determine your worth. Your profit is just the amount of money someone paid you to get there, and you can't take it with you. So you might as well find ways to creatively invest in others so that they can get there. Share the wealth. You hear people say that all the time. Coming at number 9, accepting mistakes is a form of cleansing. What? There we go. I'd say the best two for last, right? If you can live with the fact that you made a mistake and accept it and move on, right? This is cleansing. There's so many people who beat themselves up over mistakes. And I'm like, stop beating yourself up. Stop. You're crushing your inner will. You're crushing your ability to be creative. Get away from that and learn that you can accept those mistakes and leverage it as a form of physical and spiritual cleansing to get you through where you are so that you can then have more humility towards others. Isn't that interesting? And then finally, number 10, the best one on my list, is you should always strive to serve others first. Oh my goodness. If I had a nickel for every time I said, when you lose yourself in the service of others is when you discover who you really are, I would be an independently wealthy man today. What I can tell you is I model this after my grandfather. So, my grandfather, Michel Valente, was from Sicily, Italy. And I don't have a terrible number of memories about my grandfather because he was older. And I know that he fought in World War II. I know that he had some brain tumor situations, but every memory I have of him was a very uplifting, positive, fun memory. I remember his laugh. I remember his smile. I remember the things he used to say, the quirky things he used to say. And the thing I remember the most about him, though, was how hard he would fight to help someone else. And it blew my mind because this guy here, holy cow, he would go out of his way to be of service to anyone he could help. And he never always had those things himself. He would give the last of what he had to see someone else not go hungry. And I just feel like he was such a humble, meek, wonderful, amazing man that if I could be a tenth of the man that he was, I'd be better than I am today. And those are the kind of people that we need to surround ourselves with so that we can extend our help to others. Now, I often have people challenge me on this one. And they say, Lee, if I had it, I'd do it. Or if I had the financial means, I'd help other people. Or if I had the time, I would help other people. That's my favorite. And here's my promise to you. And this is a pretty lofty promise. Here we go. If you invest the time to help someone else, you're going to get that time back tenfold. Did you hear that? If you invest the time to help someone else, you're going to get it back tenfold. If you invest to help someone else financially, you're going to get that back, at least that and more. It's just the type of humility that it takes to serve someone else does not go unrecognized, whether it's by your peers, whether it's by the public, whether it's by social media, whether it's by whatever it is. And I'm not saying go out there and, serve someone a bowl of soup and take a picture of you, selfie with the bowl of soup. I serve this bowl of soup. That's self-serving. What I'm trying to say is by doing it anonymously or privately or not even, don't even without regard for yourself, just serve someone else. And what I could tell you is through that service, you're going to learn a lot more about who you are as a person and how you can help others. Well, that's all for our Friday episode. I hope that this was enjoyable to you. Most of all, I want you to have an amazing weekend so that the windows of heaven can be opened upon you and blessings can be poured out that no cup should ever be able to hold. And as always, I encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile. Until Monday, my friends, do take care.